Might F around and get a $5,000 loan at a 6 to 7% interest rate, pay it off over a year, 100 a week repayments to put it all into Bitcoin, enter at 63,000, sell around 80 to 120,000. No. No. Don't do that. don't do that. Don't do that. If you were able to get like a loan at 2% and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy the S&P 500. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, exactly. It's taking a loan out to go gambling is basically what that is. It's like, yeah, I'm going to take out a $5,000 loan and then I'm going to go play roulette. And if it wins, then I'll pay it off and it'll be awesome. I'll make money. It's like, yeah, but what if you don't? Because you probably won't. Oh my God. It hurts. It hurts. It gives me instant heartburn, some of these. Like this.
Payment.
I drive a 2024 Jeep Compass Latitude and it's $598 a month.
Hey Rick, what kind of car do you drive and what is your car payment?
I drive a 2020 Wrangler Sport, the 75th edition. I think I pay $800 a month.
Well, it bugs me that people at car dealerships are the ones that have the most ridiculous car payments. Because I would be like, no, you're probably getting a good deal on your cars, right? Has anyone here actually worked in a car dealership? Do you get good like deals on cars, or does it just not matter at all? What do you think? I would think you'd save money.
Yep. What kind of car do you drive and what is your car payment?
23 Dodge Charger, $858.
Hey Jose.
Yeah.
What kind of car do you drive and what is your car payment?
2020 Charger, $650.
Hey Wesley.
Hey.
What kind of car do you drive and what is your car payment?
I drive a 2024 Power Wagon, and it's $1,000 a month. So.
Oh my God. What is a 2024 Power Wagon? What even is that? It's a pickup? Oh, it's one of these. It's the douchebag truck. Oh. Somebody in the comments, Luke, I drive one of those and I'm not a douchebag. How dare you? How dare you? I'm sorry. I call it like I see it, my friend. One of these like straight up tried to drive or like whatever, run me off the road one time because I was driving a fancy rental car and it's like he got offended or like it made him feel like his pee-pee was small or something, and so he like brake checked us. It was insane. It was insane. I don't know, $1,000 a month. Here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal with all this. This is Finance Friday. Okay, our little segment for Friday. Here's the Finance Friday little tidbit. Okay, $1,000 a month for a car is okay if you can afford it. Most people can't afford that. That's insane. It's the same thing with like when you apply for a mortgage. One of the standard like rules of thumb that people mix up all of the time. Okay. Because I know this because we just went through the process of getting a mortgage. When you get a mortgage, okay, they will approve you for like at max 40. Oh my God, that's horrifying. I'm going to get a little thicker. They'll approve you for 45% of whatever your like monthly income is after like all the debt is considered. Okay. So like it's a 45% LTV or like loan to value, technically speaking. So if you make like $1,000 a month, they'll allow you, assuming you have no other debts to pay, they'll allow you to pay, or they'll approve you to pay $450 a month in a mortgage. That's what they'll approve you for, right? So if you have something like, you know, a $3,000 mortgage or something, you need to be making at least like $6,000 a month to be able to get approved for it. But here's where people mistake it. Okay. This is where they screw up. They think because they can get approved, they can afford it. And that's not how this works, okay? Just because you can technically get a loan for that balance does not mean that you can actually afford that loan or that it's a good idea to get that, right? Those don't follow directly, okay? Like I can go right now and I could get a loan on a $100,000 car and I could pay $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month or whatever it would be for that car. I can get approved for it. Does that mean that I can afford it? Does that mean that I can pay for that while reasonably paying for everything else in my life? Probably not, unless you're making really good money. And this is the thing with like so many of these these people who get themselves in terrible situations. It's like they'll get $1,000 car payment and they get approved, and so they're like, well, if they wouldn't approve me if I couldn't afford it, so I must be able to afford it, and so they just go for it. And like, I don't know what this guy's, this particular guy's job is, if he's like a salesman, if he's a sales manager or whatever. I would assume though, he's still making like, I would imagine if he's in a dealership, unless he's like an owner or something, he's probably still making less than 100,000 a year. And 100,000 a year, still paying $1,000 a month on your car. That's wild. Like that to me is a little crazy. Like the point where I'm like, yeah, you could probably reasonably afford $1,000 a month car payment. It's like if you're making 200,000, 150, 200,000, you don't have any other debts. Okay. I still think like it's probably not the best use of money. You're probably fine with like a $500 a month car, you'll be okay. And that's the other thing. It's like this guy works here. Why does he need a power wagon, massive pickup truck? You don't. I don't think you do. Maybe he lives in the middle of nowhere. Maybe he moves or drives in rough terrain all the time. I don't know. But if you're working like an office job, why do you need that car? That's another pet peeve of mine. Guys that like tie their masculinity up in their car. It's really stupid where it's like, oh, if I'm not driving a pickup, I'm not a man. So I have to go broke trying to buy a pickup that I can't afford. It's like, no, it's not how that works. Not how that works.
Hey, Dustin, what kind of car do you drive and what is your car payment?
I demo a 24 round this week.
Hey,
Attaboy. That's smart. He drives a demo car. That's brilliant. Why aren't they all doing this? The other thing with this, and the thing that like makes me extra cringe with these posts, is that this post is entirely designed by, and it's being done by the car dealership because they want to desensitize you to the idea of having a massive car payment. So if every one of their employees has like a $500, $600, $700 car payment, it's not that unreasonable for you to have that too when you come in and buy a car from them, right? They desensitize you to it.
Taylor, what kind of car do you drive and what is your car payment?
Okay, yeah, guess. I agree, Mendez. What do you think her car payment is? Just based on visual clues. I'm trying to take cues from like maybe, I don't know, she's got her nails done, so she's okay with spending money on some other little things to make you feel a little better. She's got takeout, it looks like, next to her, nicer clothes. I'm gonna guess like 680. That's my guess. Oh, you guys are all at like 900, 700, 1500. You guys are crazy. I'm guessing like, okay, I'll go 700. Keep it easy.
I drive a 20.
Oh no. Okay, I thought you guys were being mean with the $1,200, the $1,500 guesses. Dude, after insurance, she's probably over $1,500 a month on her car. And it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I've never owned a Jeep, but one of the guys I used to work with at Best Buy, he was like obsessed with Jeeps. And he was always telling me, he's like, don't buy a Jeep. I was like, but you love them. He's like, I love my Jeep. I also hate it. He's like, I've never hated something I love so much. I was like, what? But basically, he's like, yeah, they break down all of the time. Parts are super expensive. He's like, I hate how much I love it. I don't do it. It was really funny.
2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland, and I paid $12.98.
Oh my God, dude. $12.98. The way you got to reframe it is just think to yourself, okay, $12.98. If you do that, you are missing out on so much potential for savings, especially when you're young. Because the thing with investments and stuff is that it only works if you have time. Like the operative thing is time. And it's the one thing you can't get more of the more money you make. Okay. Like if you're 25 and you put $10,000 into an investment account over a year because you bought a clunker instead of a $1,200 or $1,300 a month car, you will be in a much better financial spot than your coworker that started with $15,000 5 years later. Like it's all about compounding interest. It's why I think it was Ben Franklin said that compounding interest was the greatest invention man ever made. And it's because it's straight magic. But like the thing is, if you start investing when you're young, you get to capture this like exponential growth that happens. But if you start with these crazy car payments and you're like, oh yeah, I'll just wait till I'm older and I'll start investing then. This gets shifted all the way over here and then it starts going, assuming you ever even start. But by the time you're like actually in needing of it, like maybe 40 years old, 50 years old, look, like the difference is crazy. but it's purely just a function of time when you started. But people will spend so much time and just waste time on things they don't really need, like the fancy car, that's going to break down and lose value almost instantaneously. If you can afford a fancy car, go for it. Go for it. More power to you. But dear God Almighty, if you can't afford it, don't waste all of your your time on something that's going to go away almost instantaneously. It's the same thing. Like, I always think whenever I want to go get like a Starbucks coffee, I'm like, okay, that's going to be $7 or something stupid like that. Do I really want to spend $7 on something I will literally piss out in a matter of hours? And when you think about that, and like every time you're tempted, just imagine taking the money, blending it into a drink, drinking it, and literally pissing it away, because that's what you're doing. And when you think about it like that, it becomes really hard to spend that money so casually. You know, now you still can go get a drink again if you can afford it, but I think you have to constantly reframe. A lot of kids my age just don't want to even think about it. They just turn their brain off and they get in trouble. This guy says he has a $1 billion plan. Let's see what his $1 billion plan is.
You want to be a billionaire?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, of course. Anybody who says they don't want to be rich is lying. And if they say they don't want to be rich, they probably never will be. If you want to be rich, admit it, acknowledge it. Be like this guy. Have a $1 billion plan. Let's see what his plan is.
What's your path? What venture do you think like would get you to be a billionaire?
I'm just gonna wake up a billionaire. I'm just gonna wake up just a fucking billionaire. I ain't even gonna know where it came at. Just gonna be, oh shit, I'm a billionaire.
Brilliant. I'm just gonna wake up. It's just gonna happen, dude. Just gonna wake up. Gonna be a billionaire. Who knew? Who knew?
Let's say you have.
Okay, what's this guy? Free debt? Free money? Okay, let's see.
That's how you get a free $14,000. Let's say you have a credit card, say a Bank of America card. Okay, you owe $5,000 on the Bank of America card. You're like, damn, dude, I'm paying a lot of interest here.
Yeah.
I applied for a Navy Federal additional card, and the Platinum came out. The Platinum card gave me $14,000. $14,000 transfer balance for 12 months. I think it's like 0.9%. Call Navy Fed. Can you do a transfer balance? How much? The whole $14,000. Okay, what card do you want on? Can you put it on this Bank of America card? No problem. They're not gonna ask you how much you owe on that card. I want the whole $14,000 on that Bank of America card. How much am I over, right? I only owed $4,000, so $9,000 over. So I'm negative $9,000, but a good negative. Now I put it in my checking. That's even better, right? So it's quick. Then get that money and you pay back the other card. You free up this card, and then what do? You call Bank of America to give you more credit, because now the card's paid off. Usually wait till after it reports. That's why you should know when's your reporting date. How to get a free $14,000, because you literally got $14,000 for 12 months, and if you can make that money grow, even better.
What's the big problem? I mean, when you hear free 14,000, you think, oh my God, 45,000 people like this. For one, it's you're just doing balance transfers over and over again using promotional balances to get 0% interest for extended periods of time. How a lot of these credit cards work, though, is that you'll pay the accrued interest if it's not paid off within the 12 months. So basically what happens is, like, if you have a $14,000 balance on it, because he's talking about basically taking that $14,000 credit balance, maxing out the card, but to transfer everything over to another card that you have a balance on that you're paying interest on, paying that down, you pay it negative, and then you do a cash advance to take the money out. Not only do cash advances have like really high fees, like 20% fees or something stupid on most consumer grade cards. So you're not actually taking the $9,000 cash back out. You're actually taking maybe like $6,000 to $7,000 out, paying the rest in fees. But beyond that, you still have to pay back the $14,000. And if you don't, you're going to pay the interest on that $14,000 over the whole year. That's at that crazy regular interest rate, which is usually like 28% or something. So of the 14,000, you're paying what, like, if it's 28% interest, it's accruing in real time, but you're going to be paying an extra like $4,000 in interest instantaneously on the day that time expires. You're screwed. Like, this is such horrible advice. Like, is it technically fraud as long as you're not lying on the credit applications and stuff? I don't think it would technically qualify, because you're allowed to do balance transfers if they allow you to. But the reason they allow you to is because if you don't pay it off, they get all the accrued interest. The reason they let you take cash advances is because you're going to pay like a 20% fee on that. Like, it's not magic. Like, anytime somebody tells you, yeah, it's a free 14,000, for one, it's not free. You have to pay it back. But he's saying, yeah, you'll grow the money, so you'll pay it off with that. That's not a given. That's really not a given. You're taking out a $14,000 loan effectively at a credit card's interest rate, which is insane. That's crazy. Like, there is not you literally could not pay me to take out a loan at 28% interest. That's madness. So whenever somebody's like, yeah, but a good negative, there's no way that works. That's insane. That's insane. Oh,
get your paycheck.
This guy that wears pants that are so freaking tight, you can tell what religion he was raised. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. The dude looks like he's about to burst into tears, and also that his blood is made of pudding.
Go look at your paycheck. It's not at least 100 grand a month. You got work to do.
I'm guessing this guy makes less than 100 grand a month. That's people that make over 100 grand a month don't talk like this. And I'm telling you, as somebody that knows a lot of people that make more than 100 grand a month, they are not this insecure.
A lot of you guys jack off all day. Seriously, I mean, like, you guys just bullshit all the time.
Says the guy with the right arm that's still throbbing and pulsating, dude.
Greatness comes from doing mundane shit that average people can't keep doing. It's not all fucking sexy and fired up. It's staying consistent, doing the shit you need to do over and over and over and over. Everybody told me what's fucking possible. Fuck everybody. I called my own shots. I'm not a crowd pleaser. I fucking destroyed it.
I mean, he literally described the key to greatness is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting things to change. That's pretty funny. What's this guy's advice?
Are you wasting your time learning international business? Go international and learn business. I studied international.
Oh my God. It's like that meme of, when you want to say something profound, just take what they said and flip the words around. People are like, oh, wow, stunning.
Wasting your time learning international business. Go international and learn business.
Stop studying international business. Go international and study business. It's like, that's what? What does that even mean?
I studied international business. All right. And then my international business professor had never been overseas. Said, fuck this shit, I'm out. And I became an international business entrepreneur. So, you want to learn international business? Start doing business. I'm not going to learn it from a motherfucking high school. Are you
Oh my God. Oh, dude. This is unbelievable. And what's even more unbelievable is that this has 173,000 likes. So it probably has like millions of views. I mean, this is madness. But it's all like 12-year-olds probably that are just watching this and hyping it up because they don't know any better. Like, this guy, I would bet you, it has a net worth under 6 figures, certainly. Might even have rich parents or something that allow him to like have fancier clothes to appear wealthy or something. But this is just like nonsense and drivel. But he flips the words around and talks confidently. And so you're like, oh, wow, he must be intelligent. He's given Luke's a bad name, I'll tell you what, because this is just, it's nonsense. It's just sounds. He might as well just be getting up there and like squawking. That's all it is. She already has 12 other guys telling her she's beautiful, be different, send her crypto. Please send the address. She sent the Bitcoin wallet address or whatever. Hope this is enough to start your trading journey. 5 Ethereum. That's what, like 10 grand or something? 20 grand. Oh, as of 2021, yeah. Wow. That's so funny. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. That's called the horny tax. It's good for you. Keeps you honest. What's this one?
Yo, Spartan, how much are you up today?
Yeah, I'm a student, but we're green $10 today. Yeah, green's green.
Relentless, how much are you up today?
I've been drinking too much beer. Mine is 1,600.
Triad, how much are we up today, bro?
Green 170.
Are we gonna trade soon?
Yeah, so I'm up on knowledge. There we go.
Very good. Jorge, how much are we up today?
$20 learning card. Post here. See, learn.
We winning, baby.
And I'm up $1,200 in the city.
Okay. If these are day traders, the thing with day trading is that it takes a ridiculous amount of discipline. It takes a lot of industry knowledge. And the other thing that they never consider is like, they never consider short-term capital gains taxes either. So they might be like, yeah, I gained $20 and I lost all this money yesterday, but I feel like I'm good. Because I mean, it basically just turns into gambling where they get addicted to the highs of getting a win. And then they feel like really bummed out naturally when they're in the lows, but they remember the highs much more. And that's all they focus on. It's interesting because a lot of like people who are just flatly adjusted, they remember the lows often much more than they remember the highs. Like we can remember the time we went to a restaurant and had a terrible time, but you might not remember the time you went and had a really good time. You remember the lows much easier. Gambling addicts, I've noticed it's sort of the opposite, where they only really remember the highs when they get a $1,200 win on a day, but they really quickly forget when they're down $1,600. That just quickly goes out the the door. You know, they forget it. And like, here's the thing, like I trade stocks. Like I have investment portfolios and stuff that I do. I'll have days where I go up and like, I'll have a really good day where it's like, oh my God, today, like a few days ago, I had a really good day. One of my accounts went up by like $6,000 and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. But you know what? The next day it drops 3,000 and the next day it goes up 1,000. Then the next day it goes down 2. Because it's not about day-to-day performance. You can't think about investments that way. Like all you have is a thing that on today is worth this. And you have to be thinking in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, in a year, in 10 years, what's this going to be like? Because it's about the trends. When you're so focused on the minutia of day-to-day movements, you're going to go insane. Like you're going to lose your mind. Because you're just going to end up in a state of always chasing those little bitty highs and all that. Just invest all your money in NVIDIA stocks. The problem is NVIDIA is currently priced around the hype, just like Tesla was like a year or two ago, and then you run into trouble. I'll tell you what. But he's wearing a suit and tie. Yeah. Okay. If anybody looks at you like this, never take any advice from them at all. Cut 2. But I need like the mushroom haircut.
Unethical ways to make money, part 99. First, you're going to go into Google and look up.
What are the odds? What's the over-under on this just being straight fraud? I think it's pretty likely he's about to just describe something very illegal. He's like, it's unethical. I'm guessing it's probably fraud. I see retirement homes is listed. I've told this story before. I knew a guy because we did deals with him. And all he wanted to do, because we met with him to sell him apartment buildings, but all he wanted to do was buy mobile home parks and like trailer home parks and stuff. And we're like, okay, what's the strategy and stuff? He's like, oh, I just buy them and they're all on fixed incomes. So I can know based on the zip code how much they're making a month. So I know what they can actually afford. So I know if a particular trailer park is underpriced. So I go in there, I buy the whole thing, all the plots of land, and then I jack the prices up to what they can actually afford. He's like, people freak out and like threaten to leave and sue, and they go to the news and whatever. I don't care. And it worked. It worked. It was a dick, but it worked. So maybe that's what he's going to refer to, is that you go to people with guaranteed incomes and then you raise it. Certainly unethical. Sounds, I mean, it's pretty slimy, but.
Retirement homes for dementia patients.
Oh my God, no way. Oh God. Go to retirement homes for dementia patients. This is going to be worse than I was expecting.
In your area. From there, you'll be able to find communities of dementia patients. Once you find one you like, you'll apply to work at that facility as a caretaker. Once you get the job, you'll go about doing your normal things, bringing them food, putting on a movie for them. But every single day after you finish your work, you're going to do this one thing. You're going to create an AI-generated video of you and that old person doing some wholesome things together. like blowing out birthday cakes, going fishing together, and even mourning together at your grandmother's funeral. The idea of this is to get these dementia patients to think that you are their grandchild. And if you show this patient these AI-generated videos day after day after day, then one day they might add you to their will. And when they pass away, you'll inherit all of their assets. Repeat this over and over again with every single resident at this retirement home, and eventually you'll be raking in over $1 million per month. Work smarter, not harder.
That was so much worse than I could have possibly imagined. I'm like, oh, he's gonna go and talk about like, oh, you should buy a retirement community if you can manage that, and then raise the prices, and because they're old they won't have a choice, so they'll have to pay you the higher prices. I wasn't thinking he was like, yeah, go give them false memories, convince them that you're related to them, steal all of their money from the rest of their actual family, and then I'm gonna sit smugly smirking as I just recommended you do one of the most evil and cruel things I've ever heard of in my life. That's unbelievable. Oh my God. But this is the thing, like, you can't tell if they're pose or not. This is the thing with like finance influencers. You can't tell, because a Poe is, where is it? Poe's Law. Here it is. Poe's Law is an adage of internet culture which says that without clear indication of the author's intent, any parodic, it's like a parody, or sarcastic expression of extreme views can be mistaken by some readers for sincere expression of those views. In other words, this is so insane, you can't really tell the difference between him being serious and being like, yeah, this is an unethical life hack you can do if you want to make some quick $1 million a month money. So go check it out. It's really good advice. And if he really thinks this is good advice, or if he's like some sort of master parody artist, whatever, you know, commenting on the state of current finance culture or something, you can't tell the difference because they're both so insane. It's actual madness. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. Let's do one more.
If I know the Japanese yen is going to rise and I know the euro is going to fall, I'm going to short the euro against the Japanese yen, because basically I'm making profit off the euro devaluing and the Japanese yen increasing. If I know
that something's going to go up, I'm going to go long. And if I know this other thing's going down, I'm gonna short it. Finance solved, bitches. You're right. That first part though is the important part. How do you know it's going up? That's kind of the crucial bit, right? Because dare I say, I mean, if you don't know if it's gonna go up, then all of this is just kind of stupid, right? Just a little. If you're just guessing, how is that not just gambling? But it's just like, oh my God. Oh, this is just too good. This is too good. So I think we'll do this at least every Friday. We'll do Finance Fridays because this is just too precious. Hear me out. $100,000 cash in a brokerage account is potentially equivalent to a salary of $72,000. Selling options at one point. Okay, already don't know. No. Selling options at 1.5% per week will get you there. That's the power of being an options seller. The simplest counter to like any one of these get rich quick schemes is just, if it were this easy, why isn't everybody doing it? And also, why are you telling me about it? And why are you selling me often like a course for how to become rich? How are you, you know, like if this works, you wouldn't be telling people about it. But like, this is just the big kind of, most telling thing is that a lot of these people, you're just like, this doesn't line up, this isn't making a lot of sense, but they want you just ignore it. But that's the whole thing, is that they're trying to sell stuff to like teenagers who don't know any better, who have never met somebody who like actually knows what they're talking about or actually has made a lot of money, because they just don't know. Oh, these I think we talked about these guys a while back. I know I said one more, but we talked about these guys a while back because these were like finance influencers, and they, if they're the ones I'm thinking of, they have not posted anything in a while because they were so leveraged that they lost everything.
This is how we went from 0 assets to $5 million in assets in our first 2 years in real estate.
Let me stress right now, assets or assets under management does not equate to equity. Okay? It doesn't. Just doesn't. Assets are like, that includes things that you have loans on. So if you have a house that's worth $500,000, you might have only put 3% down, which you can do. And if you only put 3% down, like 97% of the balance is dead. So it might look like you're halfway to a millionaire, but you're not. You're not even close. You know, you're not even close. But it sounds good if you're like, yeah, we have $5 million in assets. How much debt do you have? Because I'm guessing it's a lot.
When we first started, we didn't know anything about private lending.
Oh, no. Okay. So private lending can be very dangerous because it's also sometimes, depending on what they're referring to, it can also be referred to as hard money, or like hard money loans. And they typically are from private individuals or investors or, you know, investing groups. And they have ridiculous interest rates, but they'll do loans that most banks and stuff wouldn't do. So for example, I was selling a triplex in Denver and it needed a lot of love. I mean, this thing, like the guy that lived there, heavy smoker. He had tried to do like repairs himself, but had done it all like not technically correct. None of it has permits. Like the whole thing was screwed up. This thing needed to be like gutted. It was bad. A bank wouldn't loan on it because it was like so much needed to be done. It wasn't going to be rentable for a year. Like it just didn't make sense. So banks wouldn't give them loans even if they wanted to. So we had people that would come in and make offers to either pay cash and buy it for cash to then fix it up. And once it was fixed up, they then take it to the bank, get the loan and pull the money back out. Or we had one guy, funnily enough, they struck me as like finance influencer types. It was two gentlemen who were maybe in their 20s and they showed up to the showing. I was going to take them on and they're wearing all Gucci stuff, you know, all their Gucci stuff. And they pull up, you know, in the like brand new Audi R6 or whatever it was, you know, like $100,000 car. And, you know, they have all this fancy stuff. They're just screaming, I have money, look at me, you know? And we go through, we do the tour, they take their pictures and they seem to know what they were talking about when it came to flipping a house. But when I asked them about financing, if they were doing cash or what they were doing, so it's like, I'm going to be real, guys. Most banks are not going to lend on this. I haven't found a single one that would. They're like, oh, well, we have a hard money lender we're going to be using. And that hard money lender wanted like 15% interest to accrue monthly until he got his money back. And then he also had like a flat, I think it was like $50,000 fee. So this guy was going to loan whatever it was, like I should remember what the listing price was. It was like maybe 600,000. Something like that. But it was like, I'll lend you the 600,000 to buy the building, but you're going to pay me 50,000 straight up in cash. And then I also want 15% monthly, which is crazy. I mean, that's outrageous. 15% monthly ends up being, like 180% annually, whatever. Like it's outrageous. It's crazy. But the idea is that you buy the house, you flip it, and then you pay the guy off in a month. Like that's the only way this works. Otherwise, you're paying back like another $600,000 within a year. Like you have to flip it super quickly because the rates are so freakishly high. But that's how the loan shark or how the private lender or the hard money lender, how they get their money back, accounting for the risk, because it's crazy. So these guys could make money on it potentially if they got in there, flipped it within 30 days, didn't run into a single issue, and then were able to refinance it, lease it out, and then pay back the hard money lender. They might make another like $30,000-$40,000 on the back end. It's a lot of stress, a lot of risk, because if they ran into a single issue, they would be screwed. Like for example, one of the units was not technically legal, so they couldn't technically lend or refinance it for 3 units, only for 2. So if they went to the bank, they're like, yeah, this is a 3 unit, so it's worth this much. The bank would inspect it and be like, nope, it's actually only legally a 2 unit. You only get 2/3 of that value. Oh my God, now we can't pay back the loan. We're screwed. We're broke. That's how quickly it can go when you're dealing with hard money lenders. So it's super high risk.
So we were actually using our own money, buying one property, refinancing, getting that money back, buying another property, which was really slow.
We got to the point where we maxed out how many loans we could have in our personal name, so we had to look for other alternatives.
That's when we figured out the private lending game, and we took off like a damn rocket. When we started using a private lender, it was the same process of buying, refinancing. The only difference is, instead of doing one house at a time and waiting to get our money back, now we're doing multiple houses at a time, refinancing, paying the private lender back.
You just conveniently don't mention the extremely high interest rates and the fees, the extremely high risk, and what happens when things go wrong, which somehow never comes up with any of these guys. So I remember checking in on these guys, and they stopped posting videos and bailed. Yeah, how expensive are these private loans though? Typically 8 to 12%, but you're thinking too small. Misspelled your. I mean, if you're trying to tell me that you understand the fine details of finance and things, and you're misspelling words in like very common words, that worries me. You're thinking too small. Who cares what the interest rate is? You should. Everybody should. Who cares what the interest rate is if you're making money and have no or little money out of pocket? Who cares? People that don't go broke. That's who. That's who. Oh my God, dude. That's unbelievable. Wow. Ah, yes, more leverage. What could possibly go horribly wrong? It's ridiculous. So yeah, those guys, as far as I'm aware, disappeared off the face of the earth because they lost like everything, because they went broke, because they were over leveraged and got screwed when the market stopped just going up and up and up. It's the thing, like, it's really easy to sound like an expert and to look like you really know what you're doing financially when the market is just going up in every regard, which it was through like COVID with low interest rates and everything. It was like, oh, easy money. We're just infinite money hack. But it eventually catches up, and that's where we're at now, where all of a sudden finance ain't so simple. It's not so easy now, is it? You know? He took my thing. Red flag, red flag.